Welcome, classmates. My name is Betty Loja, and the topic I am presenting is Klezmer music. This is the music of the Ashkenazic Jews, that branch of Jews that comes from Eastern Europe. Many Ashkenazic Jews left countries at the end of the 19th century to escape the persecution of their governments. Today, there are about 11 million Ashkenazic Jews in the world. More than half that number live in the United States, and under 3 million live in Israel. Pogroms in Russia and other forms of repression, such as anti-Semitism in Europe and the destruction of shtetls, that is, small Jewish communities, all drove Jews from Europe. They scattered in countries all over the world. Many settled in North American urban areas. And of course, they brought klezmer music with them. It was part of the immigrant society. The music was performed by itinerant musicians of Eastern and Central Europe, mostly at weddings. The language of Ashkenazic Jews is Yiddish. Yiddish is a mixture of Hebrew and German. Following World War II, there was a decline of klezmer music. The continued destruction of Jewish communities of Eastern Europe and the near complete destruction of European Jewry by systematic murders in World War II by the Nazis, anti-Semitic campaigns of Stalin, Stalin's cultural repression, assimilation of the immigrants, all led to a decline in Yiddish, as well as the instrumental music, klezmer. In the late 70s, there was a great revival of klezmer music in the United States. Meantime, Ashkenazi Jews were making notable achievements in many fields. For instance, the Google search engine was created by Ashkenazi Jews. An anti-jamming device for torpedoes in World War II was invented by Hedy Lamarr. A disproportionate number of Nobel Peace Prize winners have been awarded to Jews in all fields, such as Elie Wiesel, Niels Bohr in physics, and Bob Dylan. What makes klezmer music sound like klezmer music? Well, for one thing, it's the scale. Even though klezmer music is written in minor as well as major scales, it uses church modes frequently. And the most used one is the Phrygian mode known as Phrygisch. The other very commonly used scale is the church mode that's a lot like Dorian, but it is called Ukrainian Dorian. The beat of klezmer music is generally 2/4 or 4/4, has a very upbeat tempo. It's usually cheerful and happy. And the texture is either homophonic, with supporting instruments supplying additional voices, or heterophonic, with the supporting instruments playing the same melody, but with ornamentation. The dances most commonly used in klezmer include Freilich or Bulgar, which is a lively circle dance like you see in the picture there on the slide, like think the hora. Another is Kosidi or Husim, which is a slower dance, also in 2/4 or 4/4 time. Think of the song from Fiddler on the Roof, If I Were a Rich Man. And then there's a slow hora or zak, which is in 3/8 time. In addition to the dances, there's a type of piece of music called a doina, which is a little bit like a cadenza. It's a rhapsodic improvisational piece, doesn't have a meter to it necessarily, and it's designed to display the virtuosity of the performer. The instruments of klezmer music are mostly the portable types. Clarinets have become very popular and are a very important part of klezmer ensembles. In addition, violins are a mainstay. Frequently, there's singing in the klezmer music. And other instruments include flute, guitar, trombone, viola, bass, cello, piano, and accordion, and a hammered dulcimer. Klezmer is for dancing. When the music was played in different countries, the dance music of those countries was incorporated into klezmer music. The rabbis added liturgical music to the repertoire, and this was a more solemn type of music. Generally, it was songs without words. niguns is what they're called. So as I mentioned earlier, there was a great decline of klezmer music after World War II, but then in the 70s, there was a terrific revival, and it is still going strong. Experienced and proficient musicians found old recordings of klezmer music, and they had their jazz skills or other current skills. They used those skills when they were playing klezmer, and they improvised a great deal. Part of this revival included concerts, recordings, courses being taught at educational institutions, revival of Yiddish theater, and of course, a revival in the interest of Yiddish. And now there are ensembles all over the world that play klezmer music. Recording houses played a very decisive role. There are some some musicians who adhere to the traditions and they don't improvise, but there's also that school of thought where there's a lot of improvisation and jazz techniques that are added to klezmer music. I've got two videos here that demonstrate klezmer music. One is called The Happy Nigun. This is a song without words, basically, that was recorded pretty recently. It's a dance tune in the nature of a freilich. The group has three musicians in it, a clarinet, a guitar, and a violin. The other video that I'm going to play is called Mir Bitzushain, which is a classic song in Yiddish. It was written in the 1930s for a comedy that appeared on Broadway and lasted for about a year. The Seth Kibble Quartet is playing that tune. So I hope you enjoy this.